Hello, everybody. My name is Diana Ortiz, and today I will be presenting on educating the educated, expanding higher education to realistically impact opportunities for international students. So, what are we going to learn today? First, I will review challenges that international students encounter during their college experience. I will also go ahead and discuss of a few challenges students encounter once they've graduated and they start to seek employment in the US. I will also list a few services that are already available for international students. But the topic that I will mainly focus on is a potential service that could be implemented across universities for international students to better adapt and be able to better fulfill their future endeavors within the US. Before we start, I want to go ahead and let you know a little bit about me. I was born and raised in El Paso, Texas. I graduated from the University of Texas at El Paso with my Bachelor of Science. I actually started working at a college setting about 7 years ago. I recently moved to Odessa and I became the program manager to the International Student Program at the University of Texas Permian Basin. And I'm currently working on my master's at Angelo State University. So let's go ahead and get started. International student struggles. Based on an article that I recently read named Challenges of International Students from Pre-Departure to Post-Study, the four main concepts that were brought up that students struggle with include culture shock, language barriers, racism, and financial problems. Culture shock affects international students because they are having to learn the norms and customs of a new country while at the same time they have to learn to cope from being away from their families. Now, even though the US has a diverse range of languages people speak, it is not always an option to have someone available that can translate. Racism may be a new concept to these international students, so when they receive certain behaviors that are not common or unwelcoming, they may feel threatened, attacked, and alone. When I started my position at UTPB, I was unaware that most expenses for tuition from international students are out of pocket unless they have a scholarship. So financial problems don't only affect tuition, but the day-by-day living expenses such as rent, bills, and food. So let us further discuss some of the problems that international students face in college and could be carried over to the workforce. There is a difficulty when adapting to traditions that are based in the US. This may include holidays such as Valentine's Day or Halloween, attire, food, or transportation. Language and lingo. Some students may not be fluent in the dominant English language used in the US, or they may have an accent and are not understood. They may also not be aware of certain sayings that are commonly used. For example, a not so recent but commonly known saying is YOLO, which means you only live once. To us, it makes sense, but to someone who's new to this language, they may have no idea what you're talking about. Education structure or norms. The education system is different all across countries. So some of these students are unfamiliar with the teaching methods used, or they know how to get the same answer, but through a different process. I remember I had a classmate in middle school that was from Mexico City. He always got all the answers correct in a math class we took together, but he used a much shorter and uncomplicated method compared to what I was taught. Involvement. Students may not know how to be involved or even know how to start. It also does not help that barriers such as language may be in the way to potentially find a sense of belonging. New job environments. After graduation, international students may have a good idea on how to be an undergrad, but now that they are having to face the workforce, they will need to learn what is required from their employer. Due to all these issues, international students may feel alienated and disadvantaged in comparison to the traditional US college student. So why is it important to address the difficulties this specific population faces? Based on the article written by Omegon during the 2010-2016 span, international students contributed $36.9 billion and occupied 450,000 jobs in the US. However, in 2017, due to the enrollment decrease of students by 31,520 students, the U.S. had a 788 million loss. So it is noticeable that international students do make a contribution to the U.S. economy. In addition, the increase in diversity can lead to innovative ideas and inventions that can help the country advance technologically and morally. And most importantly of all, we all deserve an equal opportunity to education, regardless of location, race, or ethnicity. There are a few resources that are available to international students. These include centralized offices such as the International Student Program or services that can be found on campus. Websites are also available, and they contain general information about applying to the college or university of interest, and some may provide paperwork that is required by immigration in order to enroll. Organizations are another option students can be involved in, and they usually have a staff or faculty as an advisor. Orientations are also offered, but many students have expressed that a one-day event does not cover all questions they may have, or they may need further guidance at a later time. Although the resources that are currently available have been beneficial to students, I'm here to propose the United States 101 class. This course is a free zero-credit mandatory course that students will need to attend for 1 year during their first year as college students. During this class, attendees will learn about U.S. traditions such as food, language, TV, transportation, and new trends. Mentorship will be beneficial since students will be able to meet with their instructor on a personal level, and they will be a resource if a recommendation is ever needed, and they will help students be more involved with on-campus activities that will help them build their resume. Assistance with immigration paperwork would be available since policies constantly change and it can be difficult for students to be aware of these updates. It will also be required for a post-graduation worksheet to be completed in order for students to have opportunities after graduation. Students will need to apply to grad schools or to jobs that will help them with their immigration status and their permanent visa. Job fair opportunities will be available, and they will be modified based on the majors and the qualifications of the students that attend. International students will have to attend a course at least one last time during their last semester in order to help with post-graduation plans. Lastly, but most importantly, students will be able to create a community amongst themselves. They will have each other for support during their undergrad experience. It may take time for this class to be considered by universities or colleges, but having communication with the individuals that serve international students and letting them know of the needs they have would be helpful. Starting an advisory board will also help so that students know that their needs are being addressed. And if at any moment you wonder why it is important to go the extra mile for these students, self-reflect on why you decided to take on this profession, and that equal opportunity is crucial for our future. Any questions? Thank you for listening.